Hello there! Joe DeSanto here. Thank you for joining me in yet another Quicken video. I appreciate it. It's good to see you. Well, I can't see you, but you can see me. It's good to be seen. Okay, so in this video, I am going to be explaining how it is that Quicken Classic, our 40-year-old favorite locally installed database program, is now also web-based. It's actually not new. It's been this way for a few years. Obviously, I'm late to getting to a video on it. Most people that I know that use Quicken Classic don't actually either use this feature or even know about it, so I figured I should make a video about it. It's not to be confused with the fact that Quicken also has a new product called Quicken Simplifi that is completely web-based, has no local installation. I guess that would be sort of the future, as you might say. So I'm just going to walk you through how the whole web-based version of Quicken Classic works, how you can use it or not use it, turn it on, turn it off, access it, and so on. So stand by for that. In the meantime, if you like my content, I would really appreciate it if you could do the old like and or subscribe. That helps me out a lot. Thank you. And finally, I wanted to let you know that we are going to be relaunching, yet again, I guess you could say, our flagship course. It used to be called a Financial Independence Roadmap. It's now called Personal Finance Mastery, Invest in the Business of You. And I have added more content since my last update in November, but I'm also reorganizing content to hit home the idea that Quicken can help you run the business of you. Personal finance does involve budgeting and, planning and things, but it really does all come together in sort of this holistic approach, which I call running the business of you. And in this course, I explain all the 5 key areas of that and try to deliver the information in an easy to follow way and a way that you can get started quickly. So if you're looking to get your financial act together sometime soon or just commandeer personal finance in general, this course is for you. There will be a link in the description below. Maybe by the time you're watching this video, it'll already be there, but we're going to be officially launching in about a month. Okay, so on to the video. So on my computer here, you are seeing the Windows version of Quicken. Now, I always give this caveat. You might be confused because I am on a Mac computer. This often throws people off. I have used Quicken for too long, and I got it back when there was only a Windows version, and back then I had a Windows computer. I eventually got a Mac computer. I still use the Windows version by using a program called Parallels. Parallels allows you to run a Windows computer on your Mac. I had this program anyway because of my work, so it wasn't an extra expense for me, but that is how I'm running a Windows version on my Mac. Now, I also have the Mac version installed on my computer. I'm going to bring up a version of that, and this is what that looks like. This is the Mac version. So, in essence, getting to the web-based aspect of either Quicken for Classic for Windows or Quicken Classic for Mac is the same thing. So, I'm going to show you in the Windows version. So, when you buy Quicken or you're using it, at this point you probably know that it's a locally installed program and it has a database file. A lot of people actually don't know that actually it has a database file because when you boot up Quicken and you set up your file, it puts a database file in a location on the computer, but if you never have any reason to have any other database file, Quicken just opens the same database file every time, or the last one it was in. So a lot of people don't even know there's a database file. They just know that their info's in Quicken. Somewhere along the line, Quicken decided to do this web-based aspect of Quicken Classic. My assumption is they're slowly going to move the product to be completely web-based, and this is sort of a middle ground. Now, simultaneously, they created from scratch a new web-based version of Quicken called Quicken Simplifi. I don't know if at some point they're going to merge it all into one, or if they're going to end up with Quicken Simplifi web-based and Quicken Classic web-based. I really have no idea. But for now, we have this sort of dual role or straddling both worlds scenario. So depending on when you bought and set up Quicken, you might have run into the question of, do you want to have this be a mobile version option? And if you haven't, you can also go to Preferences over here in the PC, and under Mobile and Web, there is going to be this option to sync your data to the cloud. And you might be wondering, well, where's the cloud? I'm going to get to that in a sec. So these two preferences, mobile and web, and Quicken ID and cloud accounts, kind of work in tandem to have your data go to the cloud. So we have our data locally. Now, when we're in the desktop app, when you signed up for Quicken, you got a user and password, okay? And at that point, you probably just bought it and we walked you through some steps, and you ended up on the local Quicken Classic on your computer and never really looked back. However, if you come back to the website over here and you go to sign in, you're going to see a few different things. And this is where you can access your web data. Now, over here on the left, it says sign into my account. Now, that is just like your basic Quicken account, right? If you go in there and sign in, you're going to see your subscriptions. You could change your credit card. You can see billing and all that jazz. That user and password, though, that you set up when you bought Quicken also gets you into your web-based version. And that's over here. So on this side, you see some different buttons. We have that new product, Quicken Simplifi, that I mentioned. Now, I just found this out just now. They have now released a Quicken Simplifi Business and Personal, or they're calling it Quicken Business and Personal Edition. This is like Quicken Simplifi, but has more features. Now, I noticed here that it's not called Quicken Simplifi Business and Personal, so maybe this is going to be slowly where they push all of us classic users. I don't know. But until then, there is this button here that says Classic. This is where you will go to log into your web-based portal and access your data that way. Now, just because I'm here, there's this Quicken Life Hub, which is like a new product, I think, where you could do home inventories, and I don't know what else you can do in there. And then down here, we have investing.quicken.com. This has actually been around for a while. Previous to the full web-based version, you could actually sync your investing accounts to this investing.com portal, and you could see your investing activity on like a phone app and stuff. That's actually been around for a while, and my guess is that's probably going to get phased out, but I'm just guessing. But anyway, let's go over here to Classic. And we're going to get this interface, and then it's going to ask us to sign in. All right, so I'm going to sign in. I'm going to cut it out, and I'll meet you in there. Okay, I've signed in, and what we see here is the web-based version of Quicken. Now, I don't use the web-based version really at all, so I can't talk about exactly how much of all the features you can utilize here, but my understanding is you can do most of what you do in Quicken Desktop in the web version. You can update your accounts, you can edit transactions, you can even attach your documents to transactions. Speaking of that, there is a companion mobile app as well that if you put on your phone, you would use the same login info and you would see a mobile version of this. And in that, you can even take pictures of receipts and attach them to things. So yeah, so in here, there's a dashboard. You got your transactions. You can pull report. You can look at your budget. You can look at your bills and income. You can look at your investments. You can pretty much look at it all. My big, I guess, sort of beef, if you will, is that Quicken web-based reorders your accounts. Like if you have Quicken Classic Home and Business, you're going to have some more opportunity to segregate and organize accounts on this account bar than you have in the web version. The web version only gives you the level of segregation as like Quicken Premier or Deluxe. So what that means is it kind of reorganizes your accounts on the left-hand bar, but it doesn't necessarily screw anything up. It doesn't remove them. It doesn't delete any, blah, blah, blah. It just reorganizes them. So that kind of is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. But otherwise, you can, go in here and do your Quicken if you like. If you don't want to access it through your computer, or if you're away or whatever, or you just want to, you're on vacation, you don't have a computer, you just want to check your balances for whatever reason, you can do that in the web version. either through just signing on through a browser or through the app. Now, last thing I'll say about it is originally the way it worked was you bought an instance of Quicken Classic, you downloaded the software, you followed the prompts, you set up a database file, whether you knew it or not, and by default it was set up so that database file and that local Quicken installation would sync, to your web portal. And you could only have one file connected between the desktop version and the portal. They've changed that now. If you have multiple database files on your Quicken, you can connect them both simultaneously but separately to your portal, and then you can toggle between them here. So that's pretty handy. Some people, you might be asking, who has multiple database files? Well, some students of mine have taken over like their parents' finances because their parents are old or are not able to handle it anymore. And they have a Quicken database for their parents' finances and then one for themselves because they don't want to have all the finances mixed. And in that case, you could sync both of those through your one user and password to your portal and throttle between the two. So that could come in handy if you you're at your parents and you want to look at the finances with them, but you don't have your computer. You could just log onto their computer, go in the web browser, and check the stuff out. I will say too, to that point of multiple computers, we all have multiple computers, and being that Quicken is a locally installed program with a local file, it's hard to use from computer to computer. Web-based applications solve that problem. So you could transition from Quicken Classic just to web-based now if you wanted and use it that way. Like I said, I don't know if eventually they're going to just push everyone to the new Simplifi product or if they'll keep this Quicken Classic web-based version going along with the Quicken Simplifi web-based product. Who knows? What I can say is Quicken's been around for over 40 years, so I trust them to remain around versus any other personal finance software. Okay, so last couple of things. If you don't want to have your data synced to the cloud, and some people don't, you can come over here, do your preferences, go to mobile and web, and you can just turn sync off. And also, you can choose, if you don't want all of your accounts syncing for some reason and you only want some of your accounts syncing to the web portal, you can go here and you can select which accounts you want. Normally, you would just have them all. Honestly, I don't have them all here, but this is just kind of like a test file, so that's why for my personal file, I just have them all. And then, I don't know, there's some other options here too. If you need to reset your cloud data for any reason, you can do that from here as well. Over here in this preference pane, this is where you associate your file with a particular username. If you're logged in with your app and you make a new database, it's automatically going to associate it with what you're logged in. You can release a database file from that user and then put it on another user and then sync that to another account too, just FYI. And back to the Mac, if you're over in the Mac, the amount of preferences in the Mac are much more limited in general, but we do have a preference for those same things, associating a file with a certain general Quicken account, and then choosing whether or not you want to sync data or not sync data. So FYI, that is the deal about Quicken and the new web-based feature for classic users, even though technically it's not new. But usually when I mention it to anybody, no one's ever heard of it, so it's new to most. All right, I will check you out in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.